What's cracking, everybody? It's XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon GO Battle League content. In today's video, we're taking a look at another Shoutcast in the Great League, this time featuring Shadow Dragonite, Shiny Charjabug, and Azumarill, submitted by Trainer Fat Ghost Nerd. Appreciate you, my friend, for the submission. Trainers, if you'd like to submit battles to the channel for Shoutcast, you can do so. We have a link in the description to a Google form you can fill out and submit the battles. Let's get into these battles here without any further ado, as Mr. Homeslice says. Let's get into the battles here. Getting the first game, we've got a Alolan Raichu. These are some early rank battles, rank 8 battles, so there's going to be some spice in here. We got the Alolan Raichu trying to catch a move on the Charjabug, but unfortunately, the opponent sees it coming, and they don't throw the energy. Psychic is going to do a ton of damage to this poor Charjabug, and I think they're off one more, so Wild Charge doesn't matter at this point. They're going to throw Psychic. They shield up. The Charjabug could probably farm down if it wanted to. But no shield on the Charjabug. We're going to let Dragonite probably come back in and get that farm down here from the Dragon Breaths. And hopefully it does well in the back. So we'll see what this trainer decides to do after getting rid of the Alolan Raichu. It definitely is good to get rid of this now because it would be a very big pain point for Azumarill in a moment here. Ooh, got to throw right here at the superpower. Unfortunately, the opponent gets to the body slam just too quick. Now we're able to get a few more Dragon Breaths in and go for double superpower here against this Greedent. Hopefully getting a shield and then some. Opponent shields up that superpower, and then the second superpower is going to come through and get I don't think it's going to KO, but it's going to do a lot of damage. It almost KOs. That's a lot of damage. Oh my goodness. Even he debuffs it when the opponent's just like, nah, dude, I'm done. All right. These were not edited by me, so I'm not going to hit the transition on these. But Dragalge in the lead, some more spice in the early ranks here. Dragon Tail ripping through the Dragonite. Unfortunately, not going to be able to beat the Dragalge unless they decide to go shields down here. But Azumarill is looking pretty good as a counter swap in here. Now with a shield up, he can get a lot of energy. Throw an Ice Beam, get rid of the Dragalge. And hopefully the opponent doesn't have Gunk Shot. If they do have Gunk Shot, then that's going to be a bad time. So we'll see what the opponent's got. Depending on what moves they go for here will be a huge tell. Possibly going to shield it up. They wants the Gunk Shot. The trainer makes a huge shield call and is able to shield that Gunk Shot. That is huge because I don't see too many running Gunk Shot. So that's a huge like coin toss right there. Opponent has another dragon and got a Haxorus in the back going for the Ice Beam. Technically, it would be more beneficial to go for the play rough because it hits harder, but the opponent doesn't shield anyway. They let the Haxorus go. What is happening? Running triple dragon. I think the opponent just says we're done here and goes off. All right. Shadow Dragonair versus Shadow Dragonite in the lead. Who wins this battle? Honestly, the Dragonair is slightly bulkier, but able to get to the Dragon Claw just before going down. Gonna get a shield or take out the D-Nair. Opponent lets their D-Nair go down, and hopefully that's the hardest answer they have to Charjabug. As a Swampert comes in now, we're gonna see Azumarill, I imagine, come in here and start to whittle away at the Swampert. Now, one play rough is enough to put the Swampert in bubble range at this point, in the 2 shields especially. So, Hydro Cannon bait, not going to happen here. I don't even know if the opponent built up to it, but going for the play rough here, I think that, I don't know, man. I think I would have seen go for the swap into the Charjabug right away, but either way, I think it's fine. Opponent waiting for, I don't know what happened there. That was like some lag or something? I mean, it's Go Battle League, who knows? There's nothing but lag in this godforsaken game. So, gonna go for 2 moves, 3 moves. Oh, going for a full farm down. I respect it. Let's go. All right, full farm down. Gonna be able to hit that Swampert with a bunch of X-Scissors here, and it's gonna be dangerous. They're gonna have to shield a lot of moves here. Opponent looks like they got the 1-turn lag as well, not getting a mud shot through, at least from what I could see. But Charjabug going for an extra Volt Switch here. I like that. Going for the extra fast move pressure here, and then, I mean, you call it pressure. I don't know if I'd call it pressure, though. But able to get to another X-Scissor before the opponent fires off another charge move. Opponent might be looking to go for a huge overfarm here, but they are going to be, the trainer's going to be swapping out into the Azumarill here, and this is pretty much done. They even shielding up the Earthquake, easily going to be able to get to the Ice Beam. Opponent knows it. They concede. That's a good game. Getting into the next battle here, Dragonite against Medicham. Whole team has very solid play here into Medicham. Opponent immediately swaps into Skarmory, and I'm not sure why we haven't swapped into the Charjabug yet, but I think we're going to, I mean, hopefully we're going to get there. So firing off a superpower, trying to hopefully get an early shield here, I imagine, which does thankfully get the shield. Then Charjabug can come in, and if the opponent has, the opponent has Air Slash, actually, so not necessarily a great matchup now, but Skarmory's not doing too much damage. Who are we kidding? Ideal timing here, I think, would be to go for, I believe, 2. I think it's 2. I think it's 2. 2 or I don't know, man. The timing of 4-turn moves is so wonky, it's really hard to remember them off the top of my head, but especially because you use it, so you use that use case is so very little. So, opponent is going to fire off a charge move here. Charge-a-Bug has done its job. It's going to have to take a lunge if it wants to shield. But the trainer wants to keep the Charge-a-Bug alive. Might look to swap into the Dragonite now to start getting these this Dragon Breath through. Might be enough to be able... Oh, no, they come back into the Medicham here. Medicham is not going to be able to get to an Ice Punch before the Dragon Claw goes off here. And that's going to do some damage, right? No, Dragon Claw from a Shadow Dragonite is nothing to scoff at. Azumarill could even just try and get 2 charge moves here, as I do believe that the Ice Beam from the Azumarill would be enough to KO the Galvantula from the current range. So we just get up to 2 Ice Beams or enough to get too close, get close enough to 2 Ice Beams before the opponent gets their discharge. Should be an easy way to get this game. Plus, we have a shield, so really not seeing much a way to lose here. Easy, bubble farm down, go for play rough, go for Ice Beam, doesn't matter. Going to be able to take out the Galvantula here, and that's going to be a good game. Very well played. Getting into the next battle here, we've got Dragonite on the lead versus a Lantern. You love to see it. Get that stupid fish out of here, man. Opponent staying in because they're core broken by Dragonite, clearly. And Dragon Claw is ready and ready to go. But the opponent, instead of going up to the Thunderbolt, decides to throw a Resisted Surf. Trainer, what are you doing? Going for the Dragon Claw now, as this would do a significant chunk into the Lantern's HP bar, and the opponent does decide to commit a shield. So they can now get to the Spark Down, but the next Dragon Claw is going to come through. And honestly, Charge-a-Bug does not do too bad in this matchup at all. So the opponent wasting both of their shields. Oh, but swapping into Azumarill, I don't know if that was the right call here. I think I would have definitely let the Dragonite go down and just bring in Charge-a-Bug. Just because now you're forced to shield Azumarill, it feels bad. And we go for the Resisted Ice Beam. Not an ideal play here. You definitely want to be going for the play rough. This is not going to do nearly enough damage to KO. It's not even going to come close, unfortunately. Thankfully, though, with the bubble buff, I think that this might be a farm down range now for the Lantern. I definitely would have liked to see the Charge-a-Bug come in here. I think much would have been a much better play, I think. But we'll see what the opponent has in the back, as they do have a Medicham. They are clearly just completely destroyed by Dragonite and Azumarill both. Opponent now, oh, it comes up with a Lurantis. Hold on a minute now. That's a Leafage Lurantis now. And that's going to get to the Leaf Blade real fast. Leaf Blade will KO here. The opponent was torn to shambles by Dragonite. Charge-a-Bug is going to have to get to an X-Scissor now in order to even come close to KOing this Lurantis. But at least the damage is completely resisted. And we make a God-tier catch on the Dragonite to completely remove the opponent's energy. They go down to a defense drop state now because of the superpower, and that is going to take this X-Scissor it's going to take a lot more damage. Actually KOs with the X-Scissor, but is this X-Scissor going to be enough from this Charge-a-Bug into the Medicham? Medicham's pretty bulky. We'll have to see if that does enough damage. Almost enough, but the the Volt Switch after will be enough. Getting into the next game, we've got an Azumarill lead. This is not a good lead for Dragonite. They're going to stay in. I would look to have immediately pivoted, I think, into the Azumarill here. But going for the superpower for some resisted damage. Very risky play, to be honest, but still, Shadow Dragonite hits like a truck. I mean, this will do something. But now we're going to see the Azumarill come in here. It's all resisted damage, but it's still good to get a chunk out of the Azumarill. The hope here is that the opponent swaps out and allows the Charge-a-Bug eventually to get lined up against the Azumarill. I think it will be the most ideal play here, but opponent is not swapping out, so perhaps they're weak in the back to Azumarill. Very possible. Could be running something like Gligar, could have a Fire type back there, as they would be weak to Grass in the lead. So you would expect something in the back to be weak to Azumarill. Possibly everything is weak in the back to Azumarill. Who knows? But we're going to see the Azumarill go for the Ice Beam here, looking to go for a bait. I don't know how I feel about this bait, though. The Ice Beam bait has always felt bad, but they get a shield? What do I know? What do I know, I guess, right? So, good stuff. Gonna go into the Charge-a-Bug. This Skarmory is running Steel Wing. This is a significantly better matchup for the Charge-a-Bug because it's running, because the Skarmory is running Steel Wing, rather. So we're going to be able to go for Discharge. Should have, I don't know if this KOs. I've actually not played this matchup myself yet. Okay, so it doesn't quite KO. That gives you an extra farm. Unfortunately, the Charge-a-Bug will have to shield in order to keep itself alive here. but I think that a loaded Charjabug is going to be pretty good. Considering their best course of action now is to bring in the Azumarill, I think we just shield and farm this down. Opponent goes for the Hydro Pump and full sends it, and then Dragonite comes in. Can Dragonite get the farm down before the opponent gets to a charge move? Yes, it can! What's in the back? It's a Credilli, dude! Going for double superpower here. The opponent is not going to be able to get to 2 Rock Slides before 2 superpowers are reached on the Dragonite. And they don't even shield it! Ice Beam coming from Azumarill. You wanted to just go for the bubble down at this point, but that's okay. Either way, you're going to take this game. Well played. Slapping. Dragonite just doing things, all right? Into the next game, we got Walrein. You could not ask for a more awkward lead for Dragonite, so we're going to immediately pivot into the... Immediately pivot in, and then Medicham comes out. Medicham, I wonder if you knew that you lose this matchup now. Now, unfortunately, Ice Beam is the one way to lose this matchup, so you definitely want to go for the player off as the opponent realizes they've probably made a mistake in the swap in here, and definitely want to go for player off, go for the super effective damage. By not going for a player off, we put ourselves in a position, unfortunately, to possibly lose this game. So, or lose this matchup, I should say, not necessarily the game. But Azumarill going to go for the Ice Beam here. I mean, at this point, yes, it's going to get shields, but I think with the player off, if that had landed, the Azumarill could have definitely looked to bubble down maybe after that player off had landed. So opponent go for the Psychic here, and Azumarill will be able to get to an Ice Beam before going down, but the opponent going for a... Is that a power-up punch? No, they went for the Ice Punch. Azumarill goes down, but has shield advantage. So we're going to see the Dragonite come in here, look to probably farm all the way down as the opponent didn't have another move banked. And now we're going to see Dragonite... Whimsicott! Oh no, dude! Oh, this is not beneficial at all. So, we are now going to see if this trainer can get through this matchup. This looks very hairy here. Yeah, this is something. This is a miss. This whole... Oh my goodness. So it's definitely a misclick on the opponent's part to not have come in with the Whimsicott against the Azumarill. Had they come in with the Whimsicott, it would have been a much better situation for that trainer. But going overload on energy, going for multiple X Scissors here is the expectation. And we're going to see whether the opponent decides to start shielding anything. No, they're going to let everything rest on the Walrein here. And that's probably a pretty good call. But if Dragonite can get to a single superpower, it can win the game. All Dragonite has to do is get to that superpower. Let's see if it can make it before getting farmed down. Can it make it to the superpower? It just might. It just might. If they get new mechanic, it just might get there. Super no! Oh no, it missed the superpower. Very good, very well. Oh, that's close, man. All right, Dragonite and a Dugong, similar situation to the Walrein, just a little bit thicker. Immediately swapping into Charjabug here. Going for the electric damage. The opponent staying in, taking super effective damage. Could have also taken a move if they had... Icy Wind, going to get the shield. That is a very feels bad moment because you always hate to shield the debuff moves, you know? But Discharge also not going to be the move to go for. You don't want to go for the X Scissor in this situation as it does do neutral rather than resisted. X Scissor gonna do super effective actually, I'm sorry. I don't know my typings as well as I thought I did. I forgot that Bug is not resisted by Rock, which is one of those weird ones that you would expect to be resistant, but it's not. So this is an awkward situation, right? Because Dragonite just absolutely cannot be dealing with the Dugong, and they have to shield the incoming Rock Slide from the Credilli here. So this is just unfortunately not looking good for Dragonite. Just putting up the shield, but the Dugong is still sitting back there with just grinning menacingly as it comes back in. Gonna go for the superpower here and look to lower the defense and attack of the Dragonite, but I imagine that they're going to swap out to Azumarill as soon as this gets out. Now, unfortunately, in comes a Deoxys. This is actually not a terrible matchup for the Azumarill. Going for the player off is the right call here. Does that super, or not super, but same type attack bonus, stab damage. So if you can just get 2 player offs off, might be in a decent spot here, depending on if the opponent has the Thunderbolt. But we're going to go ahead and, yep, that's a Thunderbolt. So, unfortunately, the Azumarill is going to go down if this is another Thunderbolt. I don't think it was enough for another Thunderbolt, though, was it? No, it was just a Psycho Boost. So, man, the only win condition here is if the Dragonite gets to a superpower, and I don't know if it can. Because it's just, well, unless the, oh no, Azumarill's going to get taken out by the Psycho Boost. That's unfortunate. Because now the Dragonite's definitely not going to make it to that superpower, so this is going to be a good game, unfortunately. Oh, Dragonite, we hardly knew ye. Yep, there it goes, taken out. Good game. All right, we got Dragonite into Swampert. Dream lead here in this next game. Swampert immediately swaps into a Drapion, and don't really have a solid response here, but Drapion is going to have to deal with a lot of damage coming its way from the fast moves from both Volt Switch and Dragon Breath combined here. The no shield here is really, I think this is smart. Opponent's going to have to go for another move here immediately, but I mean, you got to shield this, right? Yep, so Crunch would definitely KO, but now we can go for a little bit of extra energy here and force the opponent to potentially want to shield back, as they will have to shield in order to be able to take out the Charjabug, but they don't. Swampert comes back in, but again, Swampert has no energy, so X-Scissor is going to be doing quite a bit of damage to the Shadow Swampert, over half, quite honestly. And the opponent goes for the move immediately, which opens up Dragonite for another opportunity to come in and potentially do a ton of Dragon Breath damage here, as that matchup was kind of quick. I don't know if the switch timer is going to be up yet, but we'll see what the opponent's got in the back, as they normally would put a flyer with this. I was about to say, a lot of the times, the trainers will put a flyer and a Mudboy together, and I was going to say, I'm not surprised at all if it's going to be Skarmory or Talonflame in the back or something, but we're going to see the Dragonite bank a move and swap out. That could be very advantageous if this Azumarill can get this thing down low enough where a superpower would KO. It's going to be a very tough uphill battle for Azumarill here, but going for a bunch of energy, an Ice Beam, I don't know if Ice Beam is going to be enough here, but the bubbles will definitely put it in a range. Let's see if the opponent can play around this Azumarill, because this is a very, very doable matchup, I think. Ice Beam does get the shield here, and then another Ice Beam is going to come through, and you don't even get to the charge move Skarmory, because the Skarmory does take a little bit longer to get to the moves now because of that Steel Wing. But they are going to go up. Oh, they get the full farm down. That is very, very unfortunate. If the opponent has 2 charge moves, it's over. Oh, no, dude. I think, yeah, oh, man, if they got 2, it's done. Oh, no, they get the Dragon Claw. No, I don't able to get to the move. Unfortunately, Dragonite's going to go down to another unfortunate situation here, but good game. Getting to the next game, another Skarmory, the Nemesis on the lead here. Immediate, no, not switching at all. We're going to stay in. Opponent's got Air Slash, chunking the Skarmory, or Skarmory is chunking the Dragonite, rather. And we're going to see if the opponent decides to throw a move immediately. Are they going to swap out? What are we going to do? Okay, so they're going to stay in here. Azumarill's getting a bunch of energy. The opponent could go for Brave Bird here if they wanted to. I don't know, man. The energy seems like it would have been better saved for the Dragonite, but we'll see what the opponent decides to do. Okay, so they swap into Azumarill, but they're a shield down. This is a good opportunity eventually for the Charjabug to come in and get a farm down here, as the opponent clearly is weak to Electric. Very, very awkward for them. I would definitely anticipate, though, seeing Skarmory on the lead, that there's probably another water in the back, quite possibly a Whiscash or a Swampert or something like that. Very often, like we were saying in the last game, that Swampert and the other Mudboys are typically paired with the Skarmory. So we're going to see what the opponent's got in the back in short order here, as the Azumarill matchup winds down a bit. And now Charjabug comes in, absorbs the energy. Yep, not going to shield that. Play Rough is not going to do too much. Going to get these Volt Switches off and see what the opponent has in the back. Oh, no, they were Clodsire. Well, that's very unfortunate. I don't think that there's a real good way for the poor Charjabug. It's all in the hands of the Dragonite now, and I don't know. Man, I don't see it. Maybe y'all see the vision. I don't know if I see it. I don't know if I see it. This poor Charjabug, dude. Oh, no. He's about to be blown to smithereens. All right, you'll probably come in with Dragonite though and make some real good stuff happen here with the Dragon Breath damage. Dragonite's going to come in, the low fast move pressure of Clodsire, especially because it's got Mud Shot in this scenario. It's going to make it, you have to shield up the Stone Edge. Doesn't matter what the Clodsire throws at this point. You do have to shield it. The opponent's going to swap in their Skarmory, and oh, almost. Okay, so they're not going to get to a move, obviously. Air Slash, not great at energy generation. But Superpower is going to get the shield. And then we're going to get to the next Superpower, and that should KO the Skarmory. And we're going to see what the opponent comes in next with. I imagine they probably try to come in with their Azumarill at right after here, because they know that they would resist the damage. Going for the Play Rough right away, knowing that the opponent just threw their energy into the charge. I don't even know, dude. I'm losing it. But the opponent's got to throw energy. You could shield and you could let this go. I think there's a win condition either way. Stone Edge comes through onto the Azumarill. The Dragonite's going to be able to breath down the Clodsire, and that's a good game. Well played. End of that. That was the end of the video. They didn't even get to the end screen there. But real cool battles here with a really interesting team. Shadow Dragonite and Shadow Dragonair both becoming very, very strong anti-meta picks in this current Great League meta. And again, if you guys want to submit some battles to the channel, check the link in the description of the pinned comment for that Google form, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye-bye.